Hello and welcome to my Alphabet Linux command guides where I go through this mouse pad underneath my keyboard and mouse, and it has A through X alphabetically and various commands that are pretty common within the Linux command line. I'm still in the series, I'm still on A, and we previously did apt. Today I'm going to be demoing aspell. A spell checker within the terminal. It's interesting. Additionally, I'm going to demo at, and then probably in another video, I'm going to demo awk to finish off the A's because awk's pretty powerful. A spell. So a spell is labeled as spell checker. You heard that correct. I'm actually going to flip it. I'm going to do at first because I can use the at command to generate some stuff that we're going to use within a spell. So let's talk about at. At schedule command to run once at a particular time. It's a very easy command to know. It's essentially a local queue of commands that you run at a specified time. You essentially just do at X time now plus 10 minutes, and it will grab the current timestamp of now plus 10 minutes, so it's exactly 10 minutes from when you specified it. And then it will put you into a kind of like a little nvim or text editor. You then enter your command, and then you do Control D to save it, and it runs it when it runs. And you can view the commands currently in the at D, the at daemon, or the at Q. So to demo it, I'm going to keep this open so you can actually see that the current timestamp, so I can generally look at it. I'm going to open up terminal, nice and large. Whoa, and let's move me out of the way. So let's do at first. Garbled time. Very, very good description there. But I actually don't have it currently running. You can tell like a nice system CTL what status at, I think at D, at daemon. System CTL status AD. Status ATD. System system missing an S. System CTL. So system CTL status ATD service defer execution scheduler. It's essentially what it's described as. Where it's loaded, it's currently disabled, it's dead, it's inactive. So we gotta enable it before we can use it. So you could set this up to be enabled every time you run. I don't think you're gonna use it often, so we could just do sudo system CTL enable now ATD. So we want to enable it right now, ATD. So let me type in my password. If I got it correct. Did not get it correct. So now you can see that it's actually enabled. So if we go back up to system status ATD, now it's running, and it could show you where it's running. I'm on the Arch Linux distro, so that's why you see all that. Let's get out of here. This temp, which has the various files, a file, that file, this file, they're all exactly the same. I just have some misspelled words within here that we're going to be demoing with the spell. Let's actually create a file. So I have one pre-written over here. I'm going to just paste it in here. Long rando text. Let's get a couple words that are incorrectly spelled. So echo printf string of each word with a new line at the end of this. So essentially, printf really just means print something into this format. So it's going to take this whole string with a new line character at the end, and it's going to print it into what we define. So I have home random at random at text at now plus 1 minute. So all this is going to do is it echo displays something. So we're doing echo, but it's actually going to run a command printf, which is then it's going in this format of this string with a new line at the end, and then it's going to pipe it into this new file that it's going to create, and then you pipe it at this specific time. So this is a longer command. It's a pretty generic one, but it looks pretty scary if you don't know what the hell's going on. But echo, essentially this is its own command. If we just type this itself, you could see now it created at random file, at random text, and it created that. So in order to put it behind something else to echo, so echo will just essentially run this command in the terminal because it just displays the message. But if you display a message as a command, it's going to run it. So that's why echo is used widely. It's used in various things. So that we know what this command does. We just ran it. It printed this string into this text, or this file that we created. We saw it right here. So now we want to encapsulate it within this at command. Now is a very fancy thing where it grabs a current timestamp now at what 5:33, 17:33 plus 1 minute. So when we run this in 1 minute from the current time, it will run the command. All right, so I don't really want to do a minute because this minute's going to take a while. At 10 seconds. So when this runs in 10 seconds, random, let's do 10 s random. So this is also going to print out a file in 10 seconds. So we run this. So I guess at doesn't do seconds, or the one I have installed doesn't do seconds, which is new. I just looked it up. You cannot run seconds. So I am going to do this at 1 minute. ATQ, you can see ATC5, because this is 5. And we can see that down here, it's going to run that command. See how it got rid of a lot of stuff? It got rid of the echo and the quotes and the at. So it's really just going to run the command that we just ran. So within 1 minute, you can see it run. Maybe it already ran. All right, it already ran. It's making me think that it doesn't wait a minute. Maybe it rounds up to the nearest minute. All right, I just confirmed that. So when you do at minute, it's always at that specific minute. It's not seconds, period. Therefore, when we just ran that in the next minute, and it was like the 50th second of the minute, it ran in 10 seconds, which is why I was seeing some weird behavior when I ran the ATQ. I expected it to still be there, wasn't there, but the file was already there. Therefore, the command already ran. So that is interesting. I did not know that. It runs only on minute timestamps. It does not run on seconds. I'm sure there's ways to add seconds, but what is 60 seconds anymore? It's not to run to schedule a command. Minutes is fine. You're not going to use this. So at is an interesting one. You won't use it very much. I feel like when you'd use it is probably if you were trying to run a test suite after you build a project. Say you have a make file that says make deploy that builds a container or builds an image, removes the image if it removes a container if it's running, and then reruns the image. So therefore you're rerunning an application, say it's a API service or a website on localhost 3000. You just want to walk away, but you want to test it. You know you're going to run. When you do make deploy, it's just generally I do it. I just type 2 words and I redeploy all fixes with a fresh container image. You build it, you click make deploy, and then you run a at command for a shell script that runs various curl commands to make sure that everything is running. That's really the only thing I could think of when you would want to run this, or when it's useful. If you're going to walk away, you say like in 10 minutes, you know it's going to be built. Generally, you just run it. You can run that script. Other than that, I don't think it's super useful. I think we've gotten so many new ways to automate and triggers, and other than just inherently just putting an at and just hoping that whatever you're waiting on finished has finished prior to running the at command is what I could think. I think back in the day before we have a lot of triggers developed, I could see it's useful. It's not very much used anymore, from my understanding. But if you use it in other ways, I'd love to hear it because I'm just running down the list. So let's next up. Let's do a spell. A spell is kind of cool. It's an interesting one. So a spell is really just a spell checker in a file. So we have files in here. Cat 10s random. We printed it out. 10 at random. Cat that file. This file. These are all. So that file, this file, and a file are the ones that all have the same ones. So I just wanted to create various ones here so we could test them. But a spell really goes through a dictionary that you have locally, and all it does is tries to match every word with a word within the local dictionary that you have with that comes installed with the command. And if it doesn't match any, it finds ones that are similar to a word, and then it recommends, do you mean this word? And it literally splits the entire file into its own word token, delimits by a space, and so it goes one by one. Each word checks, and if there's a word that it doesn't see and recognize, it will try to recommend or refer you to autocorrect or change the word to a known word within the dictionary. So just a spell, it shows you all the various ways you can run a command. You can check, you can list dictionaries. This one's a little convoluted. Spell a compatibility. I guess you can add what type of delimiter you have if you have different pipes. Spell checks a file. That's what we'll be doing. So a spell check a file. A file. So a spell check. So here we see this is a text file with bad grammar. Can a spell command correct this? Many words are incorrect. So I just ran a spell check a file.txt. This window pops up and it goes through one by one. This is a, or all clean words they've matched. TXT does not match. So now it references all these on the bottom down here, 1 through 9, 0, I, A, L, B, X. So the numbers are words that you could actually change. So obviously this is text. So if I type 1, it auto fills in, auto corrects it. You can see how it changed TXT to text. Interesting. Now we're on to the next word because we've already chose which one we want. So this is a text fill. So let's just make this fun. Let's change it to foil. So I click 5, change it to foil. So now wit bad grammar. Wit is actually a word. So it did not capture it. It doesn't really check the grammar or if the words are appropriate. It strictly checks spelling. Therefore, wit is accurately spelled. It is a word that is properly spelled, so it skipped it. Bad is fine. GRMER is not a word that I recognize, so it's recommending these 10 options. Grimmier, grime, greer, gamer, grimmer, groomer, kramer, cream, gram, and grim. Which one do we want to choose? I think cream. Let's do cream, number 8. With bad cream, can TH. And now it's recommending TH. Let's just do 3. A spell. It wants to capitalize a spell. Interesting. It's its own program, so maybe it wants to punctuate its own command. Correct. They think it's creek. It's actually supposed to be correct. And it does not offer those, which actually surprises me. So creek, I'm actually going to do I and ignore all. Cat a file text cream correct. So we create a backup, which is interesting. Cat a file that text back. That's actually kind of nice. When it doesn't auto spell it, it automatically creates a backup file as well. So in case if you want to circle back, you can. One thing else I can show you is list that file. Will actually show you all the ones that would hit. So if we did a spell check that file, that text, we'd go in there one by one and we have to choose a word or ignore to replace text, fill, grmer, th, a spell. So those are ones that we could see before we actually go into the program itself. That's a fancy little feature. So you one thing that you can also check is your dictionaries. So each run runs on a dictionary itself, and you can actually see all the dictionaries that you have locally. So if you do a spell dump dicts, it comes with many different variants. Obviously, I'm on English, so this is English variants, Australia, Canada, Great Britain, US, with various different accents and all over the places, and you can explicitly tell it to run on one of these if you wish, if you're from that area, or you could change the default to one of these. You can also create your own. So if you wanted to create your own dictionary, say you have a name that you want, your name is not a normal word that is in a dictionary, you can add it to it. So my last name's Telep, TLEP. This file, we haven't done this file. I'm just gonna add Telep, Omarchi. So let's write this out. So now we have cat this file, we have Telep and Omarchi. These are two words that if we do a spell list this file, it's going to show that Telep and Omarchi are not words that it recognizes. So if we wanted to add those two words, do a spell, check this file. We're back in here. We're going through text. Cool, cool, cool. But now we want to actually add this word. So if we press A, we add this as a proper thing in the dictionary. And then Omarchi, Omarchi. And then, so we did A on Telep and Omarchi to add it to the dictionary as an acceptable one. Let's finish these up. And now if we, so it creates a backup, let's copy this file, text that back into original this file dot text. So now we have the original, and if we do a spell list original, we can show that Telep Omarchi is not words that it believes needs to be correct now. Therefore, they've been added to the dictionary because you pressed A while you're checking the file, so it doesn't check it in further checks of spelling. Interesting. So you're expanding your checks with that, and you can ignore stuff in the future, or you could add to the dictionary. And that's what I wanted to demo today. So we demoed at and a spell. So it's very normal ones. I think they're useful. They're cool. They're not prevalent, I'd argue. I'd rarely ever use them. Have never used them. I had to install them personally on my desktop. I haven't touched them in 2 years and had to install a new package. So that is the demo. If you liked a spell and at, feel free to use them. They're unique. If you like the video, keep doing what you're doing. Bye.